Welcome. Welcome to North Bristol. We should embrace change and progress. Shouldn't we? Now, nestled away in a small leafy haven, we spied a secret, quirky, interesting place in the older part of Little Stoke. As the crow flies, it's 7 miles north of the busy Bristol. Here you'll meet a great local character in the community who is preserving a small collection from history, a bygone era of vintage farming equipment and domestic tools from the day. And it's all on display for all. A bit like an old high street ironmonger's store spreading its wares over a busy pavement. He's kindly granted us access to all areas of his home gardens, a special open day showcase. Meet Lee North, his family, and his treasures.
I've often been referred to as the Little Stoke Museum, the house on the corner. A lot of people know it. Some people say it's got all the crap in the front garden. I like it. Some people don't, but it's mine and tough if they don't like it. We met, I was her milkman, believe it or not. I used to deliver milk to the shop where she worked at, and just plucked at the courage one day to ask her if she wanted to go out for a drink one night. Here's my phone number, and legged it a bit sharpish. Yeah. And about a week later I had a text message just saying hi. I thought, who the bloody hell's this? And it was it was me. And that was oh, crikey, 18 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be 18 years ago.
Yeah.
I was happy before I met her. I probably started collecting these items about 7-8 years ago. We was on holiday in Ilfracombe a couple of years ago, and it was under a hedge. And I'd noticed it had been under that hedge about 7 or 8 years previous to that. When I spoke to the lady who owned the cafe, she said it'd been there for about 40 years. And if I wanted it, take the bloody thing, she said. I don't want it. So we took it home, and Mrs. got the paint out again. Bit of liquor paint, it's come out quite nice. Quite pleased with that one. The old Concorde. Well, that was a Men at Work road sign originally. I had a piece of wood in there. The kids used it as a little trailer. They decided they didn't want the trailer anymore, so I hit the wood out, and I thought, it looks a bit like Concorde. Put another piece of wood on the top. I think there's an old shelf bracket up there. I don't even know what it's called, the bit at the top. There's a couple of skateboard wheels underneath it, and an old wheel caster for the front. So, yeah, once it's painted up, it looks quite nice. It's seen better days at the moment, but yeah, it's been there for a few years, so a lot of people know it as they go past and make comments about it. I was born in London, Wandsworth. I think we moved to Bristol when I was about 7 years old, 6-7 years old. 1974 it was.
Okay.
Moved
Your mum and dad?
Mum and dad, yeah. My dad moved down here because of his job. He was a milkman, and the company he worked for bought a dairy in Bristol, so we all ended up down here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And is that how you became a milkman?
Yeah, I used to help him on the milk rounds as a kid, sort of around the local area, Stoke Gifford, Little Stoke, around all different areas. And I used to help him deliver the milk as a little dapper. And sort of 40 odd years later, I'm still doing it. The old milk floats we had never had any doors on them. I remember in the summertime you'd be driving down past all the hedges and you'd get the smell of the hedges and sting nettles, that sort of stuff. And You know, when you smell that now, it sort of brings back memories of being a kid,
Yeah.
helping my dad on the milk round.
Yeah, and cold as well in the winter.
Very cold in the winter it was, yeah. We, like I say, there was no doors on the floats at all. So I remember my first round was in Stoke Gifford, and the dairy was in Patchway. So I used to drive this little electric float with no doors, and the wind would howl straight through one side of the door and out the other side. I used to stick a blanket over my legs actually to keep myself warm. It was that cold in there, and you'd be soaked before you'd even started.
Yeah.
But
Might you get a milk float to add to your collection?
a milk float to my collection would be nice. Funny enough, I've been looking at one on eBay, £14,000, and it's a replica of the exact ones we used to use.
Oh, wow.
So most of the stuff I get comes from auctions, old farm collectives, where they line loads and loads of bits up in the field, and you just walk up and down, you bid on stuff. This could go on from sort of 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. I mean, I think the biggest auction I went to was about 1,400 items in a field. But it's interesting, there's a lot of good stuff and there's a lot of rubbish as well. That's where pretty much all of it's come from, but you get the odd occasional thing like the Dawlish Inn pub sign in a skip. Found that in Teignmouth. So I borrowed that. Yeah, and some of it's just chucked out, you pick it up as you go. These old irons here, I think I picked most of them up from the boot sales, and all rusty when we got them, a couple of quid each. Just a little lick of paint really, and yeah, they come out quite nice to make good door stops. So I bought this a couple of years ago. It's an old root cutter. Come from an old farm in Winterbourne. A chap called Cyril Lowe, local chap there, was a milkman, been milkman for about 40 odd years around there, had his own farm, and this was a straight out the hedge job. Been sat there for God knows how long, but built in Chipping Sodbury by Woodbridges. So it's a local bit of equipment. Got the wife to rub it all down and lick a paint, and it's come out quite nice actually. But as far as I'm aware, you would turn the handle and chop up things like old turnips and sugar beet, that type of thing, for horse feed, and it would all come out into like a box in the bottom, or bucket in the bottom there, and you'd use that for feeding the animals. These are old Lister wheels, these were. I don't really know that much about them really, but I think I paid about 30 quid for the pair. Again, just a little lick of paint, and they come out quite nice really. I think the first bit for the garden was probably the plough on the garage roof. I got that from Chepstow Racecourse. I think I paid about 140 quid for it, but my darling wife here got the old brushes out, and yeah, I don't do that sort of thing. That's her department, and yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing it actually. Yeah.
So Marie, what do you think about all these wonderful collections all around your house?
I don't mind it actually, because it keeps him happy, then I'm happy, sort of thing, As long as he keeps it to one side, not all over, that's fine.
Well, as far as I'm aware, this is an old turnip crusher. The chap at work said he used to spend many an hour on a handle chopping it up for horse feed, and picked it up for about 25 quid. Got it home, lick of paint, and jobs are good really. Chucked an old wheelbarrow in the top, put some plants in there, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with that one. Been there for probably 30, 40 years I would imagine, by the condition of it when we got it out.
Yeah.
Took about 5 of us to lift it into the trailer, and we got it home, and got the old wire brush out and the sander, and yeah. I was after some wood to build a trailer. I went to a second-hand recycling place in Bristol, and that was the only piece of wood they had, and it was facing the other way, so you couldn't see the Beaufort Arms sign. And the guy said to me, well, I can't charge you full price, it's an offcut, give us a fiver. I said, yeah, go on then, no problem. And when I saw the other side of it, I thought I can't chop that up, so I got it home and screwed it to the wall, and yeah, I had a guy actually stop by about three weeks ago asking if we were open, and was it a pub? No, it's not. So the old Oxford Allen scythes. At one time I had 6 of these. Was going to get them going. That was the plan. Make one good out of the 6, but I sold 4 off because I couldn't be bothered really. I didn't have the knowledge to rebuild them. But they make good garden features. Made, I think, sort of 1930s, 40s, I think they were. They were used by the council, so I gather, and you had to have a driving test because they were classed as a motor-propelled vehicle. And as far as I'm aware, that a lot of the farmers had them for clearing the land down the sides of the barns, where they used to keep their scrap metal piles, and you know, the government wanted their scrap to build planes and bombs and that sort of stuff, and they were told to use these to clear all the land and to get veg growing for the war. Probably my memory as a kid was the old park over Little Stoke there. I remember getting stuck on when the play, like it was like an arch, big arch, sort of thing. I got stuck halfway up there, and I remember shouting to an old guy in the garden to come and help me. I can remember I had a massive big slide. I think they all got condemned in the end, these slides, because they were too high and a bit too dangerous. Over by the Little Stoke Social Club, there was a horses field over there. An old lady called Mrs. Williams used to keep these horses, and we used to, as a kid, used to go over there with a wheelbarrow and help her feed the horses and water the horses. And on a Saturday, if we were lucky, we had probably about a 10-minute ride. So we got stitched up a bit, I think.
While old hardware excites Lee, so does fresh floral displays. Lee's very own Little Stoke in bloom.
So I think this old plough come from Portbury somewhere. I think I bought 4 of them off a farm, paid 200 quid I think for all 4 of them. Give them a quick lick of paint and a few hanging baskets on there, and again, quite pleased with that. It looks quite nice. Well chained up, just in case local scallywags decide to take a shine to it. Yeah, it sets it off, I think, with the flowers on there. But this was one of my little designs. This is a bird bath, bird feeder, whatever you want to call it, and it's just an old tumble dryer door, or washing machine door, hinged, so you can fill it out with water, and if the water gets a bit dirty, you just tip the water out and refill it. But yeah, cheap and cheerful. The old Cadbury's milk churn. I think I paid about £7 for that at an old auction somewhere. It was very, very rusty. Yeah, give it a lick of paint and come back all right. This Mrs. gets the old paintbrushes out, you know, she wants another lick of paint now. It's been like it for about 4 or 5 years, but yeah. Would I sell any of them? I suppose if the price was right, yeah. But I'm not looking at selling them really. They're quite nice where they are. I'm not really bothered. It'd have to be a stupid offer, you know, if I was to sell it. But I've been offered, I think I was offered 80 quid for one of the cartwheels once. I paid about 20, 30 quid for the pair. But I didn't sell it because I wanted to keep it. So it's not all about money, is it? I think you get a lot of people walk past, not so much they need the item, but they want the item. I mean, I had a guy stop today, wanted to buy one of the rollers from the garden. Didn't really want to sell it, to be honest. Quite happy to keep it there. We've had quite a few people ask, you know, do we want to sell this and do we want to sell that? And not really. It's right where it is. I enjoy doing it. It gives me something to do. The fear is it gets stolen on the corner, so I don't want to spend too much money on the stuff in case it grows a pair of legs. But I think I'll keep doing it, and I enjoy it. You know, it's different. It's quirky. It's different, and a lot of people stop outside and have a chat, and you know, want to know where I got it from, how long have I been doing it for, and you just get into a bit of conversation with the people around here. And I've had people come from Norfolk on their holidays to see people, and they always pass by. Just to have a nose, see what's different. So the old water troughs, picked most of these up from old farm auctions. They make good planters really. Probably paid about 20 quid each for them, if that. But yeah, quite nice.
Have you both got a favourite piece?
I'm going first. I think my favourite piece is the green root cutter that we got from Cyril Lowe's farm in Winterbourne. That's let's say it's local, made in Chipping Sodbury, and I think that's probably my favourite. How about you?
My favourite would have to be the mangle.
The one that you painted? The
one that I painted, because it came out really nice when it's finished. Yeah. And I enjoyed doing that one.
Yeah. Are you going to paint any more?
Hopefully not.
They all want repainting, all of them.
No.
They're all signed shows.
But without people like Lee, well, some of these things would just simply disappear forever.
An old vintage tractor is what I'm after, actually.
Yeah.
and I've got the go ahead for that. So
So that's your next one.
they're not overly expensive, these vintage tractors. Not really, but it's again, it's just finding somewhere to put it. Really, I mean, I could get it on the drive, but it's more of a dream than anything else. Really, I don't think it'll ever happen.
There's no doubting Lee's passion for vintage machinery and endless searching for discarded artefacts will continue for many years, space permitting.
I don't think I'm going to encourage Lee to get any more. I think we're going to have to sort of like say that's it now, because we can't fit any more in the garden. So yeah,
I'm sure we can.
No,
I'm sure we can. I'm sure that there's a way of doing it.
No.
I'm sure we'll squeeze
no,
a few more in.
it's stopping. That's it.
You like painting, don't you? So
Yeah.
give you something to do.
Yeah.
Well, let's leave it there and head over to the Beaufort Arms and raise a pint to a local landmark. Or you could just leave a message in a bottle. Thanks, Lee.